So, good morning. We just had the rider briefing. I'm here with Diana, and I'm Peter, and we're walking the course. And the first couple of jumps, I expect we have not much to say. It's just to get you in the rhythm. They're nice big fences, good ground line, just to get the horses ready and make sure they know what's coming. And I believe as we go forward, they will become a little bit bigger. And more difficult. and Derek is a great course designer. He will help the horses to get their rhythm and get an understanding what's happening.
Yeah, and the first couple jumps are also just building confidence for both of us, horse and rider. Get going. This is also our first time seeing the course, so what we say may change a little bit on our fourth walk around.
Yeah, we make it up as we go along. That's it.
All right, here we are at fence 2, obviously much bigger than fence 1. A nice big square box. We've galloped up the hill. Just want to let ourselves come off the rope back there so we can get a nice approach to it. And I think probably jump the right-hand side as opposed to the left to save a little bit of time. Peter?
Makes sense to me.
The other one, other than we're coming downhill a little bit.
We climbed up the hill and are on a slight downhill coming to this fence on a right-hand turn. All these more basic fences to get us in so far are coming out of a turn. It's not a straight approach. Footings this year so far looks really great. Last year I remember when we walked it,
this was underwater.
It was underwater, and some places the coffin was creek running through, and so this year it looks really great, and I think the horses will have a good time with it.
Yeah, that's the walnut table. Always a feature on the Rolex course, just in a different spot. Basically the same as the last. We're just going to come off the ropes, get straight to it, and jump it. All right, we're at fence 4 now, not too far from fence 3, probably our shortest galloping bit so far. Again, off another turn, just to this open, wide oxer. Kind of a more old school cross-country fence with the narrow rails, right?
Yep.
And it's just big and wide, so you just want to come forward out of the turn and keep galloping.
Well, it's going to be important with all the last couple of jumps is to come square to the jump, because the turn continues. If you just jump it on an angle, you drift out too much.
Make it wider.
Yeah, makes it longer and wider. So the idea is really to come out of the turn and keep turning almost over the fence. It's like a big circle we're riding here, and keep riding and jumping. So make sure you straighten out. You don't want to take back too much. These are cantering fences. You have to get your horse in a rhythm. You don't want to set up too much. You hopefully get him out of stride, forward going, and not waste any time and turn and stay on the shortest possible distance.
Exactly. You could waste a lot of time coming from fence 3 to fence 4. Being way out here, you want to be as comfortable as you are in the inside line.
We arrived at fence 5. It's the first real question technical. It's our first water. The course, the direct route would be 5AB, come in. So you come in here, and still you have to ride it strong. If I remember correctly from last year, it's at first water. The drop. It's not as straightforward as it might appear. You have to really get a good turn coming out there. You see where it's roped off. Not lose too much time. Ride very strongly forward. Ride them into the water. A bending to C, and then, as we can see, a sharp bending to D out over the duck. The course designer allowed us to take an option if you don't want to go directly into the water, or let's say there's a problem. What you can do, the option would be jump the frog first, come around, jump the brush fence, and then from the brush fence you continue to C and D. And if you come from that angle, it looks to me, I don't know what you think, it looks to me like you get a shorter and easier turn
to D. Yeah.
Where if you take A, B in, over C you have to have a strong turn, and there's coming up the hill too, which makes it harder to see your distance. You're coming out of the water, you're going up the hill, and it's a big enough duck, I would think. And with us walking is Roberta. She's the silver medalist from the Pan American Games in dressage, and providing us with some input on the dressage, me in particular. I need it. Super grown Colleen here with us. Well, Diana, we know. Anything else we should add?
Just if you're thinking about how you're going to ride it up to this, me personally, I'm going to be thinking about bringing him back a little bit, but getting him in front of my leg before the turn.
Yeah.
So that the turn can take care of itself and you can wait and hopefully see a little bit of a distance, 3 strides out, and then make sure you're riding pretty aggressive to that. It's a big log in, and then we just saw it walk in a shortish 4, but I imagine the hill and the water is going to take care of that, and you're still going to be riding up in the 4. So yeah, right now over here we've got fence 7, the big tricaner, big log over a very big ditch. They're just going to come around the turn, and that's the fence you can just keep galloping at with that nice big ground line. And then we come to fence 8, which is a pretty big brush into the water. We can see Peter's standing on the other side, and he's a tall man, and we can just see his hand. So you're gonna jump that tricaner, and I think you want to move away from it a little bit, get the horses together in the turn, and then definitely be riding up to this, because it's quite a big jump into the water. We'll move over here and see. Peter's going to walk the distance for us to the cabin on the way out. All right, so right now he's standing about where the horses are most likely going to land after jumping in there, and then he's going to walk how many strides? So that's 1, and 2, 3. So it's 4 strides across there from the brush to the cabin. Alternatively, you would jump the smaller brush over there on the way in as A, and then there's another cabin over here for B if you were to have a problem.